When we live in this chaotic world, we are surrounded by lots of emotions. But how to get everlasting peace? So this is the question that I would like to raise with the Director of Tibet House, Geshe Dorji Damdul. And we will discuss about the importance of Nalanda-based Buddhist tradition, how it helps promote inner peace. At the same time, how His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama looks at inner peace. So we will discuss on all these important issues and important topics with Geshe Dorji Damdul here at Tibet House in New Delhi. Thank you so much, Geshe, for giving us this wonderful time. And I'm very happy to be here where you do most of the teachings. Geshe, I've been requested by many Indians who had the privilege of knowing you to do a podcast, and particularly on the importance of inner peace. At the same time, how important is Nalanda-based tradition, particularly Tibetan Buddhism, and how it can really help build inner peace. So we will talk about all these things. And I would like to begin by asking about what is inner peace? And how do you define inner peace? And when we look at Tibetan Buddhism, when we go deeper into Tibetan Buddhism, do you see any particular area where we can see inner peace there? Or it is something about our own action so that we can have the inner peace? So how do you look at it?
Thank you so much, Geshe Dorji. It's a great joy for me to see you once more after many years. And your dynamism is greatly appreciated all these many years since you were in your college days. And with respect to the inner peace, I remember His Holiness the Dalai Lama, extremely practical, realistic, that when we talk about inner peace, we need to first of all acknowledge that what we have the body and we have the mind. And for the body, we need peace. For the mind, we need peace. So for the body, the material development is so important. It's not that, oh, we need inner peace and just let go or forget. And they forget about the material development. This is where at Tibet, we suffer because of that. We are suffering, we suffered, we are suffering, we will suffer. All because of our negligence of development of the material things. So His Holiness always reminds us that given that we have the body, it is so important that we need to work on the material development. But this is not the whole story. We have a mind, we have emotions, we have, say, the cognitive thought processes. So they also require materials to feed them, to make it something more positive. So for that, we require inner peace. So all in all, there should be the facilities to enrich our inner peace or the mental development, mental happiness, and also physical happiness. So the two must go in hand. So while the modern education is primarily focused on developing the material things to give you physical comfort, and there must be the balancing factor to make sure that we have the inner peace. So the next question is, what is the inner peace? That is a very serious question. And oftentimes, the philosophers, psychologists, they say that inner peace is just purely your subjective. There is no such thing as inner peace, or nobody can define what it is. But the reality is that the inner peace, say for example, enjoying momos or enjoying cheesecake. We get a feeling that during the COVID time, for example, people have been locked down for like years, and that we hardly get opportunity to go to enjoy time in the restaurants, good restaurants, or cheesecake and so forth. And people, they ruminate over wanting to have cheesecake, momos. They miss these things. And the moment they get it after, let's say, 6 months or 8 months of lockdown, severe lockdown, they get it. They get such a feeling that now I'm now going to enjoy the whole world. So what happens is that this is where we need to particularly think about the inner peace. This is where we need to contemplate on. Say the moment we need to spend a little bit of about like a few seconds to contemplate on this. The moment which looks so tempting, and the cheesecake which looks so tempting. So the first piece is delicious. The second piece is delicious. And keep eating it, 10 piece, 20th piece, and then you say, okay, now I'm done. And then no, it's made for you. You have to eat it. And then it will make you throw up. So the first piece is more delicious, or the 20th piece is more delicious. Everybody will say first piece is more delicious. Now imagine that keep the first piece last. Keep the first piece last, so which you describe as delicious from the object. Last, and eat the rest. And the moment you feel like throwing up, then eat the first piece. No difference. It'll also make you throw up. So this is not purely coming from outside. That joy that you get is coming from inside. It's known as inner peace. So we all have, whether you're a believer or non-believer, what gender, it doesn't matter. People fight over the gender, the feminists, and then there's some are against LGBTQ. So all these things, whoever you are, one universal fact is that we all want happiness, we don't want suffering. We all want the peace. And this peace, the true source of this peace is within ourselves. That is known as the inner peace. And the external factors are required because these are like the triggers. For example, like my hand, they put on the mobile, where the music, to play the music. Music is played. My finger is not the music, but the finger is required to press that particular, the icon, so that the music is played. But the people confuse that the finger is music. Cheesecake is music. Cheesecake is the peace. Or the momo is the peace. Or this big car is the peace. This is where we're going wrong. So these things are required. These are external factors. These are the stimulus. And finally, what should really trigger is your inner peace. So that is a quality within us. And so therefore, as you said, the Nalanda tradition is purely a very extremely rich academic studies to identify, to explore what this inner peace is. Once you identify what this is, then next question is how to retrieve this. So the process by which to retrieve this, that becomes the studies of the Nalanda, and then you go into this direction, and then the outcome is like His Holiness, such an embodiment of inner peace, where you don't require anything, and you solely work for the whole world. So this is the product of the Nalanda, the search of the inner peace.
Geshe, as someone like me who doesn't have much deeper understanding of what is Nalanda-based Buddhist tradition, particularly about training one's mind. In Buddhism, this is what I believe. The training of mind is very important so that we can achieve the everlasting inner peace, or should I say, everlasting happiness. So someone like me who doesn't have much understanding about the Nalanda-based Buddhist tradition, particularly about training the mind. So can you tell our audience like how Nalanda Buddhist tradition looks at training mind and how it is different from other religions?
In fact, this is a very interesting topic to deal with. For somebody who is more like amateur in this field of the Nalanda tradition, so how do you explain this? So for that, to make it simple, I would say that, to have a cheesecake, will give you one joy. And to become the topper in school, a very different joy comes. And then to be loved by everybody, again, is a very different feeling of the joy. And loved by everybody, and then you help others, and you're very successfully helping others, and you feel a sense of being rewarded. It's very rewarding. When you see that others benefited, the joy that you get is very different. They are qualitatively different. So joy that you get out of cheesecake or the birthday treat from somebody, or the success in your studies, or success in your business, or the joy due to being accomplished in benefit others. So then different kinds of hormones flow in your body. For example, oxytocin, endorphin, and the dopamine. So these happy hormones, they flow, and they have different qualities. Likewise, the inner peace is that the Nalanda tradition, what does it do to provide this inner peace to the people? In short, what I would say is that intrinsically, we all have this seed of the inner peace. For example, like you plant a bitter gourd seed, and don't expect delicious mangoes to grow, because that seed, bitter gourd seed per se, does not have the intrinsic quality of the delicious mango. If you want to enjoy mango, you have to plant the seed of a delicious mango. So likewise, there should be the potential from which to expect the inner peace coming about. So Nalanda tradition identifies that seed. Within each one of us, everyone has this incredibly great seed of happiness. So after having identified this seed, then the Nalanda tradition teaches us how to germinate it. So for that matter, if the seed is there, why it is not germinated thus far? This is the first question to explore before we go to look for the solution to germinate this. So what obstructs us from having this seed germinated thus far is primarily twofold. One is the ignorance, and the other one is the selfishness. In simple terms, where, say, the two brothers, one extremely learned, and the other so dull, unintelligible. So we see that in years, like 20, 30 years time, the one who's extremely learned means that he knows things. Knows means opposite of ignorance. So where you have the knowledge, cognitively your mind is smarter, the ignorance is correspondingly removed. When the ignorance is removed, ignorance given that this is the responsible for attracting our miseries. So the knowledge plays a very important role to exterminate this factor which attracts the miseries, number one. Number two is the selfishness. There's somebody who is more selfish, the person is prone to be very unhappy. In a family, will always complain, you are not doing this for me, you are not doing this for me, you are not doing this for me, and what are you doing for others? We never think about these things. This is very selfish. So more selfish we are, we tend to be extremely unhappy. So these are two factors which stop us from experiencing inner peace or happiness. So Nalanda, the tradition, acknowledges that these are the two factors which stop you from experiencing your inner peace, and how to get rid of this is a common sense. To get rid of ignorance or wisdom. For example, like in dark, if you want to read book, it's dark, the only thing is light a candle. Light introduce a light. Without this, no matter how much you pray, Buddha, Lord Ram, Jesus Christ, no matter how much you pray, nothing will happen. You cannot read books. So you have light introduce a light. So likewise, even if you want to become a Nobel laureate in physics, or Buddha, or Jesus Christ, or Ram, Lord Mahavir, Guru Nanak, you pray to all these like mantras, like 50 years, 60 years, you'll never become Nobel laureate in physics. If you really want to become Nobel laureate in physics, the only thing that you can do, the only way by which can possibly take you closer is studying physics. So this is where the wisdom, we need to introduce the wisdom to dispel the darkness of ignorance. Likewise, the selfishness, the counterforce is the other cherishing, compassion. But compassion, when we speak of compassion, it should be known as the wise compassion. It should not be unskilled compassion. Skillful compassion. Compassion where you give maximum to others and you get the maximum. Win-win. This is the kind of compassion that is encouraged in the Nalanda tradition. So, all in all, the Nalanda tradition teaches us how to always focus on developing your wisdom. Keep reading more materials, authentic materials, to make your cognitive mind more active, more profound, and correspondingly work on the helping others. Be compassionate. So these two are with you, guaranteed that you will become the happiest person. So this is what is rendered in the Nalanda tradition. Yeah.
Geshe, you spoke about two major fault, or should I say, stumbling blocks when we try to achieve everlasting happiness. One is ignorance, because when we were in school, we were taught the third law of Newton. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. So we recite it every day in our school, in our day-to-day life, but in reality, we never implement it, we never execute it and think about it. So which is quite similar to what you spoke. And Geshe, another important question that I would like to raise here is the fourth commitment of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. That is the revival of ancient Indian wisdom, I think, which relates to the Nalanda-based Buddhist tradition. And His Holiness says that His Holiness is not promoting Buddhism around the world. What he is trying to promote is the insights from Buddhism so that it can be applied by everybody, irrespective of their religion, if they believe in religion or not. So how should they look at Buddhism? How would Buddhism benefit if someone who does not believe in religion at all? What they can learn from Buddhism?
This is again a very interesting point. Oftentimes, yes, for example, Tibet House here, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has very clear instruction that Tibet House Delhi should, by no means, it should be attached to the policy of conversion. It should not at all step into conversion. It is to just teach people how to be more sensible, more compassionate, and somebody who is being more loving in your family. So somebody who doesn't know how to love your family, teach. Guide them in such a way that they learn how to be more compassionate, less selfish in your home. And the home is changed from an extremely uncomfortable, suffocating environment to a very homely, loving environment. So this is the message of His Holiness. So in this connection, the different traditions, for example, like modern science, what the modern science has rendered to the world, to us, the people, this is amazing. It's unparalleled. All the material developments, for example, like here now I live in Delhi, where the air pollution, the pollution is just terrible, like 400, the AQI, and 400, 500, some 600. But the facilities are there, air purifier is there. With the heat, it can shoot up to 47 degrees centigrade. But there's a cooling system. And the winter, it dips down to like 6 degrees centigrade, sometimes 4 degrees centigrade. And we have the heating system. It's all the product of the modern science. Modern science is amazing. So this is one thing that it doesn't mean that to reap the benefit of what modern science has contributed, it doesn't mean that I should become a scientist, not necessary. Just as usually I jokingly tell people that we can enjoy pizza, but no need to become Italian. We can enjoy pizza. Likewise, learn things from Christianity, learn things from Hinduism, learn things from Islam, learn things from Jainism, Sikhism, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, and Buddhism. Learn from them. You make sure that you be converted to a happy human being. So become a happy human person, happy human, and then spread this happiness in a family. Charity begins at home. Make sure that because of your transformation, your family, the mother should have a glow on her face. If that happens, this is a mark of your become a good citizen. Only when you become a good citizen, you can expect to be a good religious person. For example, you are a Buddhist. How can somebody be a good Buddhist if you're not a good human citizen? So likewise, the Christian, Hindu, Muslim, or the Sikhs, or Baha'i, Zoroastrianism, whatever. First thing is that we should be good. If you cannot be a good person, you cannot expect to contribute to or bring glory to your religion. So, what can we do? What can the Nalanda tradition or the erstwhile the Indian tradition contribute to the world? It's a tremendous capacity to contribute particularly I would say with the concept of today what we see as the comparative studies between the quantum mechanics and the Buddhist philosophy of the emptiness and dependent origination. There are so many parallels there between these two systems. Likewise, between the relativity theory of Albert Einstein and the Buddhist philosophy, again, of the relativity. There are so many commonalities between those two traditions. And likewise, in the neuroscience per se, it doesn't really go too deep into the psyche or the mind. But Buddhist psychology has a lot to offer as to how the mind works, what the mind is in the first place, and then how the mind works. So all these nuances, you see that are rendered by the Buddhist teachings, and learn about these things. This will give you qualitatively a different meaning of one's life. And meanwhile, no need to become Buddhist. Just, take the essence of these knowledge, beautiful knowledge. These are not the exclusively of the Buddhist, the contributions. These are the knowledge of the world. These are the legacies of the world. These are legacies of the humanity. We should be, say, 1,000 years later in time, 2,000 years later in time, that today, this incredibly rich philosophy and the rich psychology rendered by the Buddhist teachings, they should be seen as the legacy of the humanity, not necessarily as a Buddhist contribution. And if somebody, wants to see that as a Buddhist contribution, yes, there's nothing wrong. But then for sure, number one is that this is a great contribution of the humanity. For example, like Albert Einstein. So we never say that, this is the Jewish contribution. No, we say this is a humanity, legacy of the humanity, of modern science. What Albert Einstein taught. So likewise, what the Buddha taught becomes the legacy of the humanity. So therefore, based on this, then the average people tend to see this as a religion. It's from your religion point of view, my religion, but this is where we went wrong. The thing is that what is the legacy of the world? It should be legacy of the world. So what the father has created in the family, the children should take pride in this. Or what the daughter has, what your sister has done to the family, the brother should take pride in this. This is the femaleism, or this is our maleism. No, this is where we are too narrow-minded. So sometimes average people meaning who are not too smart, they tend to go into the divisions. And then the world is, say, for example, say two people, say there are four people, four of us here, and we run a common kitchen. The cost is going to be so less. We run a separate kitchen. The cost is going to be very high. So likewise, the whole world come together in harmony rather than you are this category, you are that category. Division, then the cost is going to be so high, and then whatever little saved will be used for mass destruction, weapons. Whereas if we come together, number one, the cost is going to be very less and so much of saving. That saving can be used for flourishing, human flourishing. So this is the crux of the message of the Nalanda tradition.
Geshe, if I'm not mistaken, one of the most important aspects of Nalanda Buddhist tradition is the training of mind. Because whatever we see in today's world, it is actually decided by our mind before anything happens. So, Geshe, this question is quite personal because I normally recite the 8 verses of training mind whenever I get up, because that really helps me controlling my emotions. For example, all the 8 verses, I think the 8th one is quite difficult to implement. The remaining 7 verses are really helpful. So this is also what Buddha said, that when we have the feeling of hatred, it can't be quenched by hatred. It must be quenched by love. So this is also how we should cultivate this kind of training. So Geshe, when you get angry, we all have the same emotion. When you get angry, how do you control your anger?
So basically, this is very true. In fact, during my younger days, meaning when I was a teenager, so there my anger was very, very raw. Of course, as a person, my elders, they describe me as a gentle, very gentle person, but I know myself. So those days, the anger that I demonstrated, they're very raw. Very raw means raw. Then after joining the Institute of Buddhist Dialectics and having the opportunity to receive teachings from his students very often because of the close proximity in distance. So there, then the first time acknowledgement that, okay, anger is nothing to take pride in. This is a sign of your weakness. So this is something, a new development. Still the anger is there, and then 8 verses of mind training by Geshe Dorji Damdul. And then, as you said, the first 7 verses, they are actually to directly identify what are the discordant factors for your cultivation of compassion, and what are how these discordant factors, like ego, anger, how they arise, what are the triggers. It identifies all these triggers, and then it taught us how to stay away from these triggers. So this is the one phase in my life. And yes, of course, anger is there, and contemplating on these, they're very extremely helpful. Then the next phase is that after this, then the where is about what is known as the altruism, the practice of altruism, and technically it is known as bodhicitta practice. And again, since time I was 20, I've been involved in this practice on my own. Then it took a long time, and over time meaning after about 25 years, then gradually there's a little shift happening from my earlier very ordinary perspective for the world. Anger means, okay, I'll give a damn to you. This mindset, I'll give a damn. I will give, who cares? So this attitude gradually shifts to, okay, if they say, if I'm in his position, I will behave the same way. It's a matter of opportunity. I'm so lucky that I got the opportunity to be in such an amazing institution with a great opportunity to get easy access to his students' teachings because of the close proximity in place. So, but this person who otherwise is seen as very nasty, the person did not get the opportunity as much as I got. If he gets the same opportunity as I get, he will not behave like this. If I do not get the opportunity the way he did not get, I will also behave the same way that he's behaving now. So that the seeing of the balance of this known as the neutrality, feeling of two of us more like common, like the equal in that state, and then the anger is much less. That is the next phase. And still the next phase is that where the real treasure is inside. So, if, for example, let's say that everybody has one share of 1 kg of gold. And then somebody says, hey, your gold is bad, mine one is better, and so forth. And then meanwhile, there's an earthquake, and I keep fighting with the other person. I don't, I forgot my gold. And then I have to run. Then my gold is left, neglected. So there, it is so unwise. So don't waste your time talking about, fighting about other people. Finally, why you are here is to look for the gold, and you have discovered that gold. Once you've discovered the gold, that gold is precious. Keep holding it and run, and just ignore everything else. Likewise, the next phase is where you see we're all more like same, and the real gold of the happiness inside me. Why I'm saying that you are nasty is so that the person will learn something from you. I will teach a lesson to you. What does it mean by that? So the person will listen to you. Next time he will not expecting that the person will not be nasty next time. But it's opposite. The most that they behave yourself. The person will point the same figure to you and say, behave yourself. And instead of teaching a lesson, the other person is teaching you a lesson. So therefore, the purpose is fully defeated. This is so childish. So now the point is that finally, whether you shout or not shout, the intention is that other person should be more calm, more quelled, and you are more quelled. And when will this happen? When will this happen? It's only when you don't shout. You understand it? You understand it? At the same time, you remain very confident. When you understand and you remain subservient, then the other person may take advantage of your compassion, the softness. Whereas you remain firm, but calm, that a person cannot react. This is a power of your calmness. This is a power of your firmness. This is a power of your gentleness. So, and then with this, then you see that finally the real treasure is inside me. Where I practice compassion, I become happier. Why you fighting the other person and said that I should become happier? No, it is destroying happiness. So this is the next revolution. Once you come to realize this, and then you see that the real treasure is within me, and then as long as I can practice compassion, I'm happy. So this discovery is a next phase. So these are the ways and means which can help us to quell our anger.
Geshe, thank you so much. Really, it was a wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed it. I'm sure our audience will definitely love it. And the more important part is they will have to implement whatever they have learned so far, so that they can realize the importance of inner peace, because that needs action, not just talking about how to be there, but going there is very important. So that needs action, right? So thank you so much.
For Geshe, if I may interrupt here, for the action, I would say take a small step, not to take big step. Small step for the audience and for myself, not only for the audience, for myself as well. Take small step. That is, first, stop shouting at your mother. Stop shouting in your family. This is the first step. Number 2 step is see to the difference between when you're helpful to somebody and when you're selfish. See to difference. Just observe to see difference between when you're selfish versus when you are helpful to others. When you're helpful to others, how you see the other person's glow on the face of acknowledgement. Look at the dog. You be nice, the dog will wag his tail. You just try to beat him, the dog will growl at you. So just look at the difference of which do you want? You want somebody to growl at you, or you want to see somebody's sense of relief? Just even to see you, they get such a relief. What do you want? Look at His Holiness. Just look at His Holiness. And how many millions of people, they get an extremely profound peace of mind, which they never experienced before, just by even the glance of His Holiness' face. Why this is happening? It's all because of the inner transformation. So the first message is that stop shouting at your mother. Stop shouting at the family members at home, number 1. Number 2, see the difference between you rendering service, help to somebody else, versus you shouting at somebody else, the selfishness. See the difference. And this will decide where your life will turn to happiness, or to miseries. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. I'm sure our audience, so you will have to remember what Geshe spoke here, particularly that you are not supposed to shout at your mother. So that is a very important practice, because that also needs courage, and it has to be implemented and make it a habit so that you will have peace. Geshe, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you so much. Thank you.